Hello guys, Harun here. Today we are going to discuss part 8 of Fundamentals of Magento 2 Development from Scratch, and our topic of today's discussion will be static files or front-end files in Magento 2. So let's begin. In our today's agenda, first of all we will discuss what are static files in Magento 2. Static files are more commonly known as assets in other PHP frameworks. Yes, assets which contain HTML files, JavaScript files, CSS files, or images. Secondly, we will discuss location of static files or assets in a Magento 2 project. In this regard, we will discuss where we can place or find static files in a Magento 2 project. After that, we will also try to add some assets in our custom created module. We will also discuss static file generation criteria in different Magento 2 development modes, like in developer mode, in default mode, and in production mode. And last but not the least, we will also discuss how Magento 2 generates static files for a module or a theme. In this regard, we will discuss Magento 2 Framework Class, which is responsible to generate these static files, and more importantly, two static files materialization or generation strategies, which are Symlink and copy. As we know that a Magento 2 module which have user interface and or something to display on browser must have a directory known as view directory. In view directory, all files which are related to user interface, either they are static assets or XML layout handle files or content files which are HTML files, or these kind of files which are related to user interface exist in this view directory. So let me clear my point with an example. Here we are going to take example from a core module which is developed by Magento 2 core team and try to understand view directory and its subdirectories. In app directory, let's go to code and let's go to namespace Magento where our core module is located, and let's take an example from catalog module. In catalog module, you can see there are many subdirectories, and in last there is a view directory. In view directories there are three subdirectories which are areas. We already discussed the concept of areas in our previous videos. Let's try to open front end directory. In front end directory you can see there are three subdirectories. First one is layout and contain XML files which are responsible to handle layouts. Second is template directory in which our content files exist, and third directory is web. As the name suggests, web. In web directory all files are exist which can directly serve on browser via HTTP or HTTPS request, means there is no compilation required. As you can see in this file, in this directory you can find JavaScript files or HTML files which directory which a browser can understand directly without any processing, and JavaScript, or you can find CSS files. Let's see what is next. As we know, our main concern is developer mode. In Magento 2 developer mode, static files are generated on demand. What is meant by generated on demand? When a browser requests for a static files, Magento to take that file from view directory and write it into pub/static directory. We will discuss why Magento take file and then copy it into pub/static directory in detail in later slides. Here is a demonstration of our view directory in a module. As you can see, in view directory there are three main subdirectories which are also known as areas and their subdirectories. In Magento 2 modules, these three subdirectories are more common because they provide basic functionality. As we already discussed, in layout you can find or place XML files. In templates, content file exists. In web, our static files, and there can be more directories according to need. In front end area, all files which are related to our front end are exist. In admin HTML, all files which are related to our admin panel may exist, and files which are related to both, I mean the files which we need in both areas, in front end and admin HTML, we can place these files in base to avoid duplication and conflicts. Here is one point Here one point is important. As we know, static files are also cacheable. So we can also find some cached static file in var/view underscore preprocessed directory. Here is one point important. All static assets or static files exist in a web folder, can be served on a Magento instance via HTTP or HTTP request. No further processing is required. So here we are going to study how we can create and add static file in our custom created Magento 2 module. So let's try to understand step by step with action. So let's start with editor. I am going to open my editor. Actually we are going to start where we left in previous video. In previous video we just create a simple Magento 2 module which also have its front end area or user interface area. In front end area there are two directories which are layouts and templates. Let's add another directory, web, so we can place static files in it. Create web directory. Inside web directory let's create another directory which is JS, and create another directory which is CSS. Let's try to add a JS file in JS directory. The name of file will be hello.js, and just add an alert in this. So welcome to so this is perfect. Let's save it and let's try to add some style in it. Add let's create a style sheet and name it hello.css. What should we style? Let's see what is our In our content file there is only a p tag. let's let's try to style this b tag. Let's select b, maybe increase its font size to 60 pixels, give it a border solid red 1 pixel, and give it a color. Let's try to choose a color, maybe this is better. Save it. We just create web directory and create a static file. So like a typical HTML page, we have head section then body section. In head section we can add link of these static files. Where we can add head section in our layout handle file, which is layout XML file. In our case the layout handle file is funky underscore path underscore hello world dot xml. After adding head section we have to add a link of created static file. In case of JavaScript we can add a JavaScript file with link tag. In case of CSS file we can add the link of a CSS file via CSS tag. Let's try to have a deeper look in source attribute. In source attribute start with our namespace, then underscore, then our module name, then there is a scope resolution, and then inside web folder if we have any optional folder. In our case we have two optional folder. In case of JavaScript here will be JS, then the name of JavaScript file. In case of CSS rest of the same, and the tags will start from CSS, then namespace underscore our module name, then name of our optional folder, then the name of our CSS file. Let's try to add link of this created file in the head section of our layout file. Let's open our layout file, and before body tag let's add head tag. Close it. Let's first add our JS file source. First of all there will be our namespace, which is funky underscore our module name, which name is hello. So funky underscore hello, then scope resolution operator, then inside web folder name our optional folder name, which is JS. Here optional mean that we can directly place JS file inside web, which is not a good practice. We should always group files with respect to their type or their functionality base. Inside JS there is file which is hello.js. Let's close link tag. Let's duplicate it and add a link of our CSS file. CSS its source, optional folder name is CSS, and file is hello.css. Save it. Now we try to open our browser, see this module, and try to focus on link which is created by Magento 2. So let's start. Let me see if my server is open, is working. Yeah, it's running and working. Open my browser, type a link which is created last time. Let's see what order. So our page is rendered, but there is no static file. Let's try to look in source. Control F. Hello.css. No. So files are not added. Can you tell me what is the reason? I know it. Yeah, cache. We already study the concept of cache in Magento 2 in last videos. So if you did not know about cache in Magento 2, you must refer to this video. Let's open command prompt and try to clear cache. Actually, I am using Windows PowerShell, which is more powerful than command prompt, and let's try to run a command Magento, and to clear cache there is a command cache clean. Hit enter, wait for a while, and here it is, all types of cache is cleaned. Go to browser and try to refresh it. Control F5. It will take some time because it's going to create cache again. And now you can see our static assets file is created and added, and here is a message which we write in alert: hello to Funky Technologies. Okay, and here you can see the style. Let's go to source. You can go to file source with Control U, refresh source and search for a file hello.js, and here is the file. Let's see what is link created by Magento 2. Link start with root directory of project, which is Mage2, after pub, after static, then there is a directory with version, its version number. Yeah, actually it is a static file deployed version. After that there is a directory which is front end, after Magento, after Luma, then there is a directory en_us, and here is a directory which is name of our module with its namespace, and there is a JS subdirectory, and here is our hello.js file. Let's try to search this file in our editor. Let's collapse, reopen it. Inside pub there is a directory static, inside front end, inside Luma, inside en_English, and here is our module. Inside JS, here is our .js file, and in CSS here is our .css file. Now let's discuss how Magento take this file from view directory and place into this directory, and why Magento takes files and write into this directory. The reason is that there can be multiple reasons The one reason is that security, as Magento do not give direct permission to read these directories directly. Only pub directory have permission to read data directly from a browser. So let's see what is next. Now let's try to understand the link. As we discuss in the link, the first directory is the root directory of our Magento project, then the pub directory, which is the main public directory. As we discuss, the reason why Magento place takes all files from view directory and place into the pub directory is the main reason: security. All directories except pub are private to avoid hacker attacks. Only pub directory is public and have it and its subdirectories or files have publicly access, means that they can be accessed via browser. In static subdirectory, all our static assets that we took from our Magento 2 frameworks took from different modules and themes exist, and they can be served on browser via HTTP. Inside pub directory there is a subdirectory which is actually not a subdirectory. It's only a directory. It is just a segment of URL which is showing the current deployed version of our generated static files. After that there is a front end directory which actually contains all assets which are related to front end. Inside front end there is a Magento, which is actually the namespace of our currently active theme. Which after that there is a Luma directory. Luma is actually our currently active theme. After that there is a directory which is en_us. As we know, Magento support internationalization, so all files which inside en_us contain assets which are related to English language. And after internationalization directory, our module directory, and after that our here is our actual file with its optional subdirectory. Here is one point to be noted, that this file can be an actual file or a symbolic link. Let's try to figure out that which, in our case, either it is a file or a symbolic link. In our case it's actually a real file, not a symbolic link. Let me open this file in File Explorer. So let's try to view this file in File Explorer. In File Explorer, inside XAMPP, let's go to our Magento 2 project. Inside web, static, front end, Magento, Luma, internationalization folder, and our module and JS. It's a real file, not a symbolic link, or in Windows terminology, it's not a shortcut. It's an actual file, and same in the case it's CSS files. Actually we can control this configuration either to real file to symbolic link we will discuss in a while. So with this analysis we just discovered the principle to find the location of Magento's static file inside pub folder. So here is the location. There can be static files in our themes which we try to cover in our upcoming videos. Before discussing about asset materialization strategy, let's discuss about how Magento to generate static files in different development mode. I mean in production and default development mode. Default development mode is same as developer development mode. In default mode static files are generated on demand, but in production mode static files are not generated on demand because it is a bad performance impact. We already discussed about this scenario in previous video, so you should refer it if you do not. In PHP production mode there is a special command which you can use, which is php bin magento setup static content deploy. We will try to make live our project to a live website in our hopefully next videos. So we will discuss the detail of how we can deploy static files in production mode later videos. So let's move towards assets materialization strategy. As we discussed earlier, in Magento all modes Magento took static files from different themes and module and place it inside pub directory to make them public and accessible in browser. In Magento 2 there are two asset materialization strategies. First one is copy and second one is symbolic link. In Windows platform Symlink is same as shortcut. The first strategy name is copy. Copy, as the name suggests, take files from source and make a duplicate of those in pub folder. So our currently active strategy is copy. As we see, the JS file is being copied from our view directory to pub directory. The second strategy is Symlink. In Symlink, Magento takes files from source and make a soft link, symlink, or you can say shortcut of that file in pub directory. The framework file which is responsible to generate this symlink is Magento Framework App Static Resource. Now let's try to look at the process how we can configure our Magento to either create symlink or to copy assets from source to destination. We can configure this setting in our global di.xml file. So let's see it in action. So let's go to editor and have a look. Inside editor I am going to let's open editor and try to have a look. In editor let's go to etc and here is our global configuration directory, and let's try to search for materialization. Here is our materialization strategy. Actually, here you can see our materialization strategy, which is currently copy. I am looking for class. Here is our class, which is responsible to generate static files, and here is some advanced configuration, which is argument replacement, and here is another concept of advanced dependency injection, which is virtual type, which is actually a class which is created on fly and subclass of a class. You can see here is the name of a virtual class, which is actually subclass of this class. We will discuss advanced concept of dependency injection and object manager in latest videos and try to cover these concepts. For now, you just have to focus on these arguments, which are strategies list. The first one is view underscore preprocessed, which is copy. So let's try to change it copy to Symlink, and default case let's make it copy, save it. So let's clean cache to see the effects of changings. So type command bin Magento cache clean. Let's wait. Also, let's create some boilerplate classes to avoid cache result or previous results. So inside var there is a directory generation, delete all content of it. These are actually boilerplate classes generated every time. To make compilation and make Magento fast, files are deleted, cache clear, and let's refresh. It will take some time. So cache is cleared and is working. So let's see if there is Symlink or copy. Let me go to editor. Inside hub, front end, Luma, our module, CSS. There is actual file. Oh, actually we are using developer mode. In developer mode, as we discussed earlier, static files are generated on demand. When browser requests for a static file, Magento to static file generation system comes here and locate files. All that file already existed, so it's not generate Symlink or its copy again. So to overcome this problem, let's manually delete all files in this directory. So I am going to delete these 3 files. Here is one thing important: do not delete .htxx file which perform your rewrites. Let's try to go browser. Let's go to browser and refresh again. So file is load. So after refresh you can see the logo is gone, no static file included. Actually let's go to source and refresh it, and let's try to access our file which is hello.js, and you are seeing this error: cannot create a symlink. The reason of this error is platform. In Windows platform, we require some special permission to create Symlink, which permission can be granted if we run an application is administrator mode, or you have to run. So we have to run our XAMPP, which is our collection of our server and MySQL and PHP as administrator. So we have to run our XAMPP and command prompt or PowerShell if you are using in administrator mode to achieve that permission. So you may wondering why this style. This style is actually copy, coming from copy, as we left the second argument of this class as copy. So copy will work and symlink will not work. So let's try it. Let's close tab and try to run our XAMPP and PowerShell in administrator mode. Let's stop this service, stop this too. Close PowerShell as well. Close XAMPP, also in tray on right side. Close this error and run as administrator. Yes. Run Apache on administrator, MySQL on administrator. Go to browser, copy this link, paste it and see the effects. It's saying our MySQL is not working. It's not start yet. So now it's working. It started. Say Control F5. It's going to take some time because we just delete the whole folder of static. I personally like Symlink, which is better than copy. It's take less time and it's also efficient. It's take less space. It's just a shortcut of original file. As copy, it is the copy of file. Here is message. It's mean symlink of our file is included. Press OK. Logo is still not here. I think we just need to refresh our file or just copy image address, paste it there, enter it. It's svg logo file. No static file materialization technology will create this Symlink file in following location. So let's try to analyze what is created. Either it is a Symlink or a copy. Inside pop, go to static. Inside front end, there is no admin HTML yet because browser we do not try to open the page which is related to admin panel. So Magento do not request for a static file which is related to admin HTML, so the folder is not created yet. Here you can see there are less modules because we do not try to open those modules in browser. And you can see there is some Symlink. You can see a little arrow there. Let's try to see it in Windows Explorer as JS. You can see there is a Symlink, and look at the size, it is 0 KB. It's just a Symlink of location. When we say open file location, it's not opening. Why? Maybe Magento do not give just the information of the Symlink is stored in Magento itself. So it is a Symlink of our original file which is located inside view folder. Actually it's not a shortcut. If it is a shortcut, then the information of shortcut which stored in this file. It is a Symlink which is a basically concept of comes from Linux platform. Windows NTFS not fully support this Symlink. That's why the PHP function create Symlink is not work on Windows platform. So that's it. Logo is here. Let's refresh and you will see the logo. Here it is. So here is instruction about in administrator mode. That brings us to end of this lecture. We try to include many things to this lesson. Thanks for watching. If you have any comment, please let me know in comment section. Please subscribe my channel, and I will be thankful if you avoid my poor English. Have a good day.